All right. So I'm probably going to stop uploading these videos. I'm probably just going to do a live stream and then delete when I don't need shit anymore. But the daily candle just closed, so I figured this would be a good time to do some analysis. We're pretty much in the same boat. Nothing has happened. We had a brief pump right before the daily closed, showed on the 1 hour. You can see it right here. This is kind of where we're at. But for the most part, we're very much still in this range that we've been talking about this whole time. Uh, Pretty much, if you just take the closes of the candles, and this is the highest close we've had, so that's notable. But we've pretty much just been in here. Unexciting. So, yep, had this pump. That was interesting. Very similar to this pump over here. So we'll see exactly where it goes. I don't necessarily believe in this pump yet. The only interesting thing that it did was it broke this right here, this 12-hour order block that we've been looking at. So you can see it kind of wicked out of there and eventually closed inside. So that was something of note. Probably the only reason I'm making this video. But other than that, nothing has really happened. I'm not gonna lie. Like I said, it doesn't make sense to buy here. If you are bullish, it makes sense to wait for, this type of maneuver where it pumps up, returns to support, and then takes off. It's going to do this type of thing like 90% of the time. Pretty much all assets do. So that's why I said it doesn't make sense to buy here. No point in buying resistance. Wait till it breaks it and then buy at support. That being said, I don't really believe in this pump too much because of this type of behavior. I don't know. I could be reading this wrong. Me personally, I just don't like it. I don't like when you clear a notable high. And if you remember from yesterday, I was saying like this was the thing to look at. This this formation where you had a high with two lower highs on each side. Well, it clearly said fuck that and just pumped straight through it. But that's not what's important. Well, I mean, it is what's important because that kind of invalidated a local top pattern. But what is important is that once it did break that high, it wicked up here and then closed below it. And so now we're looking at this candle pretty much on the 1 and 4 hour time frames to see, can we close above this line? Can we break it? Because right now this is stop run ish type behavior, right? Another thing I don't like, I do not like that the volume on this candle is less than the previous day. Right, so you see this. This is, I don't know. I don't want to see this. You might want to see it. I don't want to see it. If I see a candle with a larger spread, I would expect more volume. I know this pump came late in the day, and that may be a reason that the volume isn't where you would normally want it to be. But I don't know. That's not an excuse for me. So one, I don't like the spread of this candle. Has less volume than like a lot of the consolidation that came before it. It's not even just the previous day, but the previous 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days. And you're telling me the bullish day has the least amount of volume? I don't like that. So that's why we're really going to look at the next day, kind of see what's going on. Again, I don't like this behavior where you clear a local high. So you clear a local high, and then like that looks like stop run behavior. It looks like liquidity pool and then get ready for a dump. The only thing I would like to see, I guess, would be some type of divergence, which I mean, for the bulls, I don't see. Like I saw some bullish divergences earlier. I don't know where they are, but I don't see any bearish ones. I don't see a higher high with an oscillator making a higher low. That's not a, well, I mean, nah, I wouldn't consider that valid. On the 12 hour, yeah, yeah, actually, you may want to watch out for this div. This might be a div, right? Clear higher high on oscillator with the, or higher high on price with the lower high on the oscillator. Stochastic RSI, I mean, that's not really telling us much. It's just saying, like, hey, we could dump at any moment. Like, there's plenty of room to fall. I'll see on the daily. Don't really see it on the daily. The 12 hour shows it well. The 6 hour does not show well. So, I mean, it's really just a 12 hour. So, I mean, it depends on if you want to buy this. This could be a gem, or it could just be like an anomaly. I know it's what I'll be paying attention to, mainly because we're still at resistance. We haven't broken resistance. So, like I said, we broke this this order block right here. I'm just gonna do these with lines from now on, so I have to rectangle everything out, rectangle myself to death. But yeah, so we broke this order block, like wicked above it, but we closed inside of it. That's bearish to me. Bearish or possible bearish divergence. It hasn't completed yet. Inside of a resistance order block is not what I like to see. Other thing, fuck the 12-hour order block. You have some daily ones. So this was one. I know we went back and we marked out this one, which we can as well. But here's one as well. Again, traded up in here, consolidated, dumped, traded up in here. Now we're going to see what's going on. And we start going sideways here. I have no faith. I have no faith. I'm going to short like 1000x. Let's see. Again, if you want to mark out this order block before we pumped, this one's larger. And you can see we're right in the middle of it. Doesn't look good. So, but yeah, it's kind of hard to tell what's going on. Another thing I do want to point out to you, though, along with those things, is this. I do not like this behavior for bullish price action. If you aim to be bullish, sell me with another 12 hours. If you aim to be bullish, you don't want to see the close of the candles. Let me see. I don't know how to draw this. Essentially like this. Purple with this. That's not bull season. this does not inspire confidence from a buyer's perspective, where all of your pumps are getting weaker as price goes higher. That doesn't. This is not good at all. Something to take note of. Again, you want to look to see if we can clear this wick and close above it, or at least this one. Increasing price with decreasing volume is not the move at all. Last thing might be of importance, you might care about, fib it out. And these are all things I looked at and decided to share. In a minute, I'm about to do some more exploratory analysis where I haven't really looked at these things, but kind of want to look at them while I'm just, so you can see live how I think. So yeah, 50% fib, clear cut up of it. You literally had one, two, oh, I guess this bottom didn't exist at this time, so I can't say that. But here you had 1, 2, looking like 3 chances to short the 50% retracement. Will we go up to 61.8? I don't know. I'm not really feeling it, but it's possible. I just know that would be huge to get to 51 or 61.8 retracement would mean we close well above that line. And if we close well above that line, well, actually, yeah, if we wick here and close below this line, definitely short that with your life savings. But if we close up here, then I mean, I would be pretty bullish on that type of price action. Other things I want to look for real quick. That bearish div on the 12 hour was a good find, actually. I didn't know that existed. Um, let me look at the B bands. So clearly bouncing off the bottom of the weekly. That's always, I don't know, that seems to be a common thing across a lot of different assets. Daily reaching towards the top. We'll see if we touch the top. Last time we bounced off the bottom of the weekly was early May, topped out here. So now I want to look at that on the daily. So this was us bouncing off the bottom of the weekly band, and then we hit the top, but we actually pushed the top. Okay. So maybe I'll be looking for that type of fractal to repeat where we're bouncing off the bottom of the weekly band here, similar to this, and we end up pushing the daily band up to about 7.9, which would be about, that would mean a push up to here. That'd be interesting. And you might want to maybe short like that zone. I don't know. It's one way to look at it. So the 4 hour bands. Oh, definitely push the top of that. That's bullish. But due to all the other stuff that we kind of mentioned beforehand, I don't really like that at all. I'd expect to go sideways a little bit maybe. And if we take back this full move, that would be impressive. And then I don't even know why I'm looking at the 1 hour. Yeah, I'm sure it just blew this wide open. Pushed the bottom band. That looked extremely bearish. But then it kind of just popped up. I want to look at divergences. Let me look at volume stuff. Volume. Do I want to look at? I'm trying to think. Do I want to look at the volume profile too? Might as well. Well, we'll do that second. So here, oh yeah, this is bearish. You had this large accumulation. This is people selling. This is people. So I don't know what the trading range is actually. If I had to put my Wyckoff hat on, I would say, oh man, this is really going to be on the fly. That is buying climax, automatic rally, secondary test. Oops, what I just did. Secondary test. Or automatic response, I guess, is distribution, not automatic rally. Secondary test, that ends phase A. Boom. And then you had, oh, I forget. I haven't, Wyckoff distribution. You know, sometimes you just need a cheat sheet. Sign of weakness? Is that what we're looking at here? That didn't look like a sign of weakness. Yeah. And I don't know if that was is this an up thrust? Well, okay. So tentatively, I would say that's an up thrust. Like I said, we could totally just moon all the way to like 7.8K. I have no idea. But if I'm looking at this from a Wyckoff lens, I'm not really trusting this price action. That doesn't look good to me. And this looks like an upthrust where the top of the trading range looks like this. 1, 2, right? So this would be a great place to short, where the bottom of the trading range is here and here. That's what that looks like. You could definitely make a case for reaccumulation here. I'm not going to right now, but just because I don't like the price action. But yeah, so this looks like an upthrust almost. We really just have to see. I think the volume looks straight here. Yeah, it did on the 1 hour. So I'd be hesitant to say this is an upthrust purely based off of this, but it's definitely possible. But going back to the 4-hour view, this looks extremely bearish to me, where you have this large wave of sell pressure and then a quick burst in buy volume. Let me zoom in. Quick burst in buy volume, very low response with sell pressure, and now we're waiting to see where this buy pressure finishes. If this finishes like, in a very pathetic standpoint in relation to here, yeah, I'm definitely going to be like, it's an upthrust, short this thing. Really just have to wait on it. It looks good here when you zoom in. What's the daily look like? Yeah, the daily's having a very good bullish response. Yeah, this looks very bullish on behalf of the daily time frame, making me think we might target that 7.9 area. Just depends. What else I want to look at? I want to see if there was any volume divergence. We don't know yet. We have to see where this finishes, right? But essentially what we're looking for is a scenario where we have a higher high on price here with a lower high on the volume oscillator, on OBV, on balanced volume oscillator. If something like this ends up happening, then we definitely don't believe in this move. But we kind of just have to wait on it, see what happens. First thing it has to do really is fuck this high. It has to compare to this high and break that. So it has to do something like that. And we'll see how that finishes. Last thing I want to look at as far as volume, because volume tells all. Let me look at this dump down from when we made this local top here in May, I think it was, all the way down. So the point of control is here at 7.5. That would make, that would make sense to target. If you fib that out, and I'm just eyeballing it. Oh man, it's definitely less than the 50% retracement. So that'd be interesting to see how we react to when we get here. We're currently at an area of consolidation with this high volume node, but we're also at this huge ass low volume node right here. This is short city. If you're bearish, like if you spot a divergence, because damn, there's almost no traded volume here. It's just it wicked here and then dumped straight through and retested it, wicked. So huge low volume node right there. Let's see, price is currently here. So we could very much, if we get like the bullish pressure, we're gonna shoot this gap. So I don't really, so if you're, so how I mentioned earlier that it would be smart to wait for like a bullish break and then a retest of support to go back, I would be careful, like, because this might shoot this gap very quickly. Um, we might not get a retest so soon. It might end up, shooting all the way up here, or at least wicking to this area, and then maybe we come back down to this low volume node, and then this would be a good entry before going back up. So I'd be looking out for that. That's pretty much it. Like I said, I don't believe in this price action. I don't believe it's bullish. It very much could be. I don't like these things. Volume is pretty much king for me. And the 4 hours telling me a lot. I don't like this with that, and then this. Just like straight up, just looking at volume, those things look bad to me. In addition to, I'm gonna pay. Yeah, I'm gonna pay attention to this order block. So make that red, and I'm gonna pay attention to this fib. And this does not tell me a story that says, Nick, buy. This says, please shorten. I beg of you. So that's where I'm at right now. I'll see you all later.